So what I'm doing is I found a saw at an antique mall that's exactly like my father's, and his needs some parts replaced, like this collar. This one I had fixed and it was still usable, but I had to tap that out. So I can use this collar and replace the worn out one on this saw, because I want to restore Dad's. And also, this handle had cracked years ago, and this one had a good knob. So I can put, and for the price of this, I couldn't have bought those things. I mean, it even has a really, really good pliable cord on it. Remember we did a video on this one, how stiff that one is? Well, this cord's in much better shape. So I'm restoring Dad's saw, bringing it back to where it should be. And this is that blade I was talking about. Takes this Allen wrench. Which that other one just has a quick release mechanism on it, which is real handy. But nothing like old school, huh? The quality of this saw is just amazing. Really well made. Ta-da! And then this one, I need to saw that. I had, this knob was cracked. Or is cracked. And I'd always hoped to find parts somehow to fix this. And there it was. There. You can hear that crunching. See, that old plastic had cracked. And now I have another one. And that's the way that's supposed to be. I'm excited. So I'm going to take this off. First of all, I'm going to do it on the part saw. And I like that these old ones, and a lot of the new ones for that matter, but they're made to be worked on. Okay, that hadn't been off. I've never had one apart, but I'm assuming it's just that easy. So there's the cord. And the switch. So I'm going to take this cord out and put it on Dad's saw. I don't know what we're going to find here. However, I could you know what? I could even use this front cover This really is in pretty nice shape. Hi, Bandit.
Hi, baby.
Okay. Let's go here too. Let's just do all this. To this. I think these are all. Okay, those go on the side. And this came with a nice parts manual with it. Okay.
I know. Hang on. Yes, Bandit, I'm coming. Hang on. Oh my goodness, baby, that's sad.
Okay, that's all that. Ah, so that separates there. Pretty cool. I don't have a... Okay. Alrighty. I need to swing that. Are you going to cooperate? Hello. What's the deal? That should easily pivot. There it is. Not so easily. But look into that. Need that out of the way. All right. There it is. So I had to take the front off to get this gear out, to get the screws, to get back to the motor. Okay. Okay. There's our field and our armature and all that good stuff. Then so this is the process of problem solving, and it's all pretty straightforward. I need to pull this winding or this part out, and there's our connections down in there. So
Where you need to detach the wires.
right, and then get this cord free. And I'll consider that. To make it simpler, I may just take this apart and go from there.
Yeah, but now you
Now we know.
know.
Mm-hmm.
and all of those parts eventually become that.
Yeah. When it goes back together, it'll look like this.
Yes.
Here we go. Well, having made some progress, I went ahead and removed the cord. I thought it was simpler just to take the cord out and not trace these wires back into the motor. I've looked at the armature and the stator. The brushes are good in both saws. The electrical components are excellent in both saws. So Dad's, this is my father's now. I've been working on it a little bit. What I decided to do was to remove the cord from the saw I recently acquired because it was much more pliable. The rubber's in excellent condition. The plug, this was my father's, was even coming off. You can see. I knew about that all along, and I was always trying to be careful with it. Lo and behold, I now have a donor saw that I was able to replace the cord in my father's saw, and the connections are made here in the handle to where the ground wire screws to the handle here with this screw. Then this black wire hooks up to this side of the switch. That goes to that side of the switch. This all fits in there nicely with the ground wire connected, and then the side cover goes back on the handle. That's where I've been with this saw. And the encouraging thing is, a viewer made a wonderful comment about a memory attached to a saw or a drill that his father has, who's quite up in years now, and how that evokes that memory of him using it. And you might be able to find a donor saw somewhere that has another switch in it. The switch in my father's saw is still good, so I left it alone. The brushes are good. All I did was replace the handle, the collar that holds the blade in. This cover I replaced that has all the gear mechanism in that you saw earlier. And I didn't realize how bad Dad's looked. Well, I thought, I'm restoring Dad's saw. I'm going to take the donor saw and put it on here. I left the handle and the housing here the same. I didn't want to touch that because it has his name engraved in it. So this saw is now restored. But be encouraged, you might find a switch in a tool that's available out there somewhere.
Because you found it for what? Pennies, basically.
$25. I had a saw in it. I was amazed at the condition of the saw when I saw it. And it had a good handle. I was hoping for a few parts, but it gave me enough parts to restore Dad's saw. The one I will be using. This will still be good. I'm going to go ahead and hook the cord back up. I'm not going to show that. I've just kind of explained the connections there. And I will show that. Now, my mother commented when she told me once, she said, you know, when you were little, you used to take everything apart, and she thought that was fascinating, that I was so curious about how things worked. She said, but you never put anything back together. Well, that wasn't the objective, Mom.
You were reverse engineering.
I was reverse engineering, just like we did this. And I was learning. My objective wasn't to put them back together. It was just to see how they work.
Yeah, because nobody needs to use it anymore.
Yeah, all these years later, I am now putting things back together. So,
Yay.
Mom, here we are. And I'm going to plug in the saw with the new pliable cord.
Ta-da!
And it works great. So Dad's saw is restored using a donor saw. And the cool thing is, this is the case that the donor saw was in. This is my father's with
The original.
the original we talked about. But look here. Ta-da!
Hey.
Now I have a good case for my job saw where I put the cordless saw in there. That had this removable tray, which this has the same thing. I don't need that. And that fits in there really nice.
And I might add,
Yeah.
the color schematic of the case matches.
You noticed that.
I did.
That's right. It's even got
It was
the
like it was
Milwaukee-
meant to be.
Yeah, it's like, and it's for doing craftsman type work. So that was kind of a bonus. So for $25, I got a good case for my cordless saw and all new donor parts for Dad's saw. And we're back in business.
Awesome.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I was just thrilled. It's not like I was looking for it. It's just like we had just talked about these saws, walked into an antique store, there it is. I wasn't there to buy anything for myself. In fact, we left. And on our return trip home, I said, what if I went in? I saw something I'd be interested in. I explained it to Mrs. FarFar, and she said, yeah, sure, let's stop, because it's right off the road we were driving by, or on, and went in there. I knew exactly where it was. I went back, got it, paid for it $25 later. I've got all these vintage parts for this beautiful industrial deco design tool that deserve to be restored, I think.
Yeah, I think the handle especially has such elegance in
Yeah.
its shape where it's a functional tool, but absolutely they were concerned with making the form pleasing as well.
So there you have a further story, A Tale of Two Saws.
Yes, and a happy ending. And
Yeah.
hopefully that inspires to, hey, if you have an old
That's
sentimental tool that you want to keep, you'd like to use, who knows, maybe you'll find a part.
Yep.
So what do we say?
Well, thank you for watching. I really appreciate all you who watch out there. We're so grateful for that.
And for sharing such great stories too.
Yeah, it's great to know that there's those connections made.
Yeah, so keep it up. Enjoy reading them.
Like and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one.